I'm gonna turn off the YouTube player at the other end of the table because I don't need the mork soundtrack in my ears while I'm trying to narrate to you.
Okay.
So you have travelers.
We have travelers.
Yeah, I can't remember what the fuck have you done? You have on the search for 20 pearls drawn from the lakes and the shores of Lake Gratanda, high in the mountains to the east. Been embroiled in a plot to capture said pearls, to snatch them from the neck of the mayor's wife in the town of Grovedrift. You have been bidden to track down the interlopers, to hunt them, and so far you have found them, it appears. And it appears that you have found them. They have been secreted perhaps into the depths of a carved out cave, dungeon, if you will. Cut deep into the side of the mountain. Inside you have found horrors and violence and deep, dark, cold shadows that rip at your throat as you try to breathe from within them. Rounding the corner, you have found the pearls set into perhaps a stone altar and a roaring, blazing fire that obscures anything else around it. Past that, you have slain another 4 of who could say how many that are embroiled in this cult that, by your research, is given over to Verhu, the basilisk, and perhaps the end of days.
That bitch.
You've won the fight with some people in cloaks with knives in the shadow chamber, and are turning the corner to be greeted with another large chamber, carved and curved. It has stone pews in 3 lines, as I've said, and a large stone table at the other end. You have been able to see the pearls gleaming as they did in the light of the full moon the night before. And as I've said, a very large fire just past it. There are still little areas of this underground lair that you have yet to explore, so you don't know what else is going on. But what would you like to do?
Explore. No.
Indeed.
We'll move to be able to have a look at the chamber. And check
Sure.
check my corners.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a presence check. I'll see how much detail I give you here.
Okay. Who's got my big fucking dice?
You're a big fucking doors.
19.
Pretty good roll. 19 total. 19. Yeah, you can see. Effectively, like I've said, it's a large stone chamber. The ground is rough, and you think that this might be kind of the end of a large cave. From looking at the shape of the rock, everything else like that, it is, and ostensibly the shape suggests that it might be naturally occurring. Unlike the areas that you've been through, which are fairly squared off and fairly well carved, this place is pretty organic shaped. However, like I said, there are stone kind of benches, in two sets of 3.
Yeah.
In the middle here, and then square hewn. No, it's again, it's kind of rough shaped. It's not neatly carved, but from where you are, you can see that it's a flat topped kind of it's at a person's height that they could work at. It doesn't when I say it's, what am I trying to say here? The edges and the shape of it are not artificial, but it doesn't look as fresh and as raw as the edges of the walls either. Of this kind of stone table in the middle of the room here. That's all you're going to be able to see from that kind of distance. However, you can quite clearly see gleaming the 5 pearls. And then past that is a fucking huge fire. You cannot see what is burning from there, but you can, looking at it, it's bright, and it's bright enough to tickle your eyes, even from where you are now.
I see the pearls,
You know,
boys.
You see the pearls.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot see anyone. Yeah, you can't see anyone. That's the last thing that I'll add.
We go. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Very well. I'm dragging Vrak behind me.
So as you kind of turn the corner and as you start to enter, the air in there is hot and dry. Like you're entering into you'll all be familiar with the idea of a sauna, or a sauna, but it won't always be hot.
Sauna's
Won't
house.
always be. Yeah, or
Very familiar.
a cave that's got a big fire in it. You've slept in a fair share of those as well.
Yes.
Yes. I just want to creep forward, keeping my eyes peeled, trying to get eyes in the corners.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Move up a little
Again,
bit.
you can't see anybody moving around in there, anything like that. As you draw closer, you can see that there are kind of carvings and engravings in the top of the stone table as well. Although
What do
you're
they
gonna have
look
to
like?
you'll have to get right up to it to get a really good look, because at the minute it looks kind of like grooves.
I'm going to kind of point to back towards the right and insinuating that he should walk along the right wall and I'll walk along the left wall.
I will walk along the right wall.
We'll kind of just circle the room.
Fire is crackling and loud, and as you get closer to it, you can see that it's kind of built in or around like a kind of stone frame. There are pillars that are in there. However, you still can't see what itself is actually burning, whether they're burning, whether it's coals or a wooden frame or something like that. It's kind of larger than it should be. You'd expect to be able to see some unburned material in and around there. The fire itself is almost kind of self-sustaining or self-supporting. You're not really sure what is burning.
Okay. And nothing else is visible in the way of threats.
There is there are little spots and little pockets of shadow that are where the fire doesn't quite touch. The pearls themselves gleam well enough that you're not going to miss them, but they're not really touching the walls, the light of that. The whole chamber is lit by this large fire.
I'm gonna
and
move in a bit more. That's okay.
the flame flickers and licks the walls and the edges. Even moving around it, even passing behind it, you can't see anyone. However, as you pass the table, you will see. Let me get a nice. This kind of color. Just here, you will see one more cloak, black cloak with a silver trim, cast down onto the floor between the altar and the fire. It is starting to singe because
Just the
it's quite
cloak,
close to
sorry.
the fire. It's an empty cloak discarded on the floor.
Where is the person?
In the fire.
What is going on here?
Mm.
There we go. I am now in character.
I'm going to take a step closer to the fire and try and see if I can see anything in it.
It's thick and it's dense. Like it's a strong, roaring, kind of rippling, yellow golden flame.
Is it burning trees, Jed?
No, you can't see, or at least you can't see any wood in it.
Disappointing.
The way that it licks, the way that it flickers, you get an occasional. Roll me a presence check there, Sam.
No.
This is going to be a fairly difficult one. I'm going to need you to beat an 18 to get what I want to tell you here.
That's a very difficult one. I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Is
No problem. Yeah, you can see kind of glimpses. You can see kind of glimpses through it, and the way that it lights the room and things like that.
Is there any strange smells coming off?
Only you.
Got him.
You notably actually again give me a presence check, Vix. See what kind of info I can give you.
15.
17?
17.
17's pretty good. Notably, actually, it's not kicking out a lot of smoke. If it was burning wood, if it was burning coal, you would expect it to give out more smoke. It is noisier than you might expect other fire to be as well. It doesn't crackle so much as almost roars. Yeah.
Where is the smoke from this fire? This place should be full. We should be choking.
This seems a little sus, not gonna lie.
This place is weird, and I am very fucking weird. It gives me creeps.
Again, Vic, you can kind of see through the fire at times. With a 17 though, like I said an 18, but fuck it. Sam is moving around it again. Are you coming in? Are you moving around the room?
I am going to be really fucking strange and odd now. I have a pet rat. I'm going to move up to there, and I'm going to throw the rat into the fire.
Okay.
Like a fucking nutcase.
Yeah, go for it. Make me an agility check, just as a check there.
Right, make sure you don't hit me in the face with it.
Oh, I'm going to roll that again in a sec.
You hit me in the face with it.
From where you're stood. From where you're stood, the rat will bite your hand and land on the table.
You little fucker.
Kind of jump out.
I'm going to eat you tonight.
Are you going to try and catch it again?
No. I will find you later and eat your fucking brain, rat.
The rat is going to scurry away from the fire as fast as it can.
Yeah, they don't have fires. I'm going to grab the pearls.
You're going to go and grab the pearls? Yeah.
All right.
So the pearls are laid into. I'm not going to draw it, but there's a kind of ornate carving, like set of grooves carved into the stone. The stone itself seems well worn, as though kind of hands have rubbed over this, and the carving is old. Again, it seems more worn than the upper parts of the cave or the dungeon or anything like that. This stone might have been carved a long time ago. I will get, again, from all of you presence tests one more time. This one's going to be less difficult to work out what's going on here.
There my fucking... Oh, that's not mine.
My little dice.
I get 14.
14?
18.
18?
Okay.
Woo!
Presence.
Just be alright if I rode that when I decided to cast a spell, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
11.
absolutely.
11. Okay. Sam, it doesn't seem so familiar to you. You've spent too much time outdoors, but Gex, you will recognize this as being a carving that appears on doors sometimes. It's kind of doors to religious places, especially. And you'd thought of it as being like a kind of just a design motif. Every so often, you hadn't thought that much about it, anything like that. Vic, you happen to know that this is a motif that evokes kind of passage into a divine place, and that's the sense of it. That actually, what you have in front of you is a as you pass this, you are moving from the mundane world into a divine world. That's something that you will occasionally have seen this maybe carved on the doors of very old churches or very new churches occasionally.
These
It's
symbols are religious. I cannot remember all, but I do not like this. These religious types are crazy. Crazier than me.
That is the truth.
Oh,
You must be very careful.
No.
Especially with the stone, the glass turning to crystal.
Quartz.
quartz.
Is not good.
Sam, you're able to pick up the pearls,
Cool.
and you have them. So you're able to kind of to pick them out of specific places. You're not even clear whether they've been placed in specific, like in a specific spot, or whether they're just scattered on the tabletop there. Yeah. But they they're on the tabletop, and you're able to pick them up and put them in a pocket.
Thank you.
As you pick them up, they stop glowing.
Interesting.
The fire itself, to your noticing, doesn't change.
So are they not pearls?
These are the same. I mean, having seen the ones at the lake, they look the same as the ones that you'd seen at the lake. You know?
Mission accomplished. Shall we try and leave? Or do you want to investigate further?
Anything else worth taking that's not nailed down?
Like I say, there's the cloak at your feet. The fire is very, very hot and continuing.
I kind of use the handle of my axe to push the cloak over. Have a, tentative push it around, see if there's anything in it.
In the cloak.
Yeah.
It's empty, and it's laid in a way that looks as though it's been kind of shucked off the wearer's shoulders.
Ah, the naked guy. Cool. Flick it into the fire.
Was there not meant to be a girl in here somewhere?
You can throw it into the fire, and it singes a bit, but it'll just kind of fly in there. This fire doesn't spread across it, just the bit that's like, what am I trying to say there? The bit that is so close to the fire that it would be catching a light singes, but you don't notice that as it goes into the fire, it effectively disappears. Whether it's burnt up very quickly or anything else, it's harder to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to grab a dead body and throw it in.
Okay,
So-
you'll have to go back and grab a dead body. Yeah, that's
I'll
fine.
be spending a minute doing that. So
Either somebody can help, or I'm going to make Sam make a strength check.
I'll help.
You'll help? Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. So between the two of you, you can go and grab.
Well, that was a half, man.
This person's been split in two anyway, so go with them.
You get his legs.
Which half are you getting? The top or the bottom?
I'll get it. I'll get the bottom.
You get the bottom half. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Okay. Yeah. So you get the these halves of a person. You're going to throw them into the fire from quite close.
Well, yeah, as close as needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they will tumble into the flame, and they either burn up instantly or they go somewhere you can't see. You can't see them anymore. How much force are you throwing them with? I'll ask you that.
I just swinging it underarm to land on the fire.
Like a 1, 2, 3.
Like a leg and a wing.
Yeah. Not like a heavy throw.
Wouldn't be a leg and a leg if you got half a fucking.
Well, yes. Pair of legs.
Half of a man.
Look at the fucking mess you are making.
Not my cave.
You two are worse than me.
That's the thing. There is no mess.
There's no blood
Yeah,
trail seeping along
obviously.
the floor from the two. This is what I mean.
there definitely is, yeah. Again, notably, as they go into the fire, like I said, they're consumed pretty much instantly. Anything that's sticking out on the side that you've thrown from will singe and smolder a little bit, but anything that goes into the fire doesn't come out again.
This is a strange fire.
Let's go
This whole
in,
place is strange.
or just leave.
You can fucking burn. I am not going anywhere near that thing.
I'll grab
go.
one of the pews and put it half in, Jed.
Yeah.
Go and grab.
A pew
Yeah.
and put it half in.
Those are big, heavy stone. It's going to need 2 of you to move and strength checks. So I'd need
I
2 of you
will
to both roll.
How about this? I grab my.
Let's say 12 or more. Yeah.
Grab my sword by the end of the blade and just hold the hilt. Stick the hilt into the fire and see if it sets the light.
You're going to go with the hilt. You're going to grab it by the blade. What's the hilt with? Is it wrapped in leather at the back of it? Or?
Yeah.
Do it in its sheath.
Even better. Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I see it, guys, we have 2 choices. One, we take the fucking
Here he
pearls
is.
and go. Or 2,
He's
we
muted.
put all pearls on the table and see what happens.
We previously on Borg, we're in the cave. Sam just grabbed the pearls. Nothing happened. There's a big fire, and the fire seems to be emitting no smoke. We've just picked up a corpse, thrown it into the fire, and it was either consumed immediately or disappeared.
I'm thinking the latter.
Yes. So I was about to
You have uncovered a piece of information.
What's him?
We have.
From looking at the table.
There's a symbol on the table? I didn't get it.
The table. Yeah.
There's a symbol that represents transition from world to world. So, as such,
Yeah.
death.
Specifically, it was moving from a mundane place to a divine place.
Yes.
So it's the
like dying.
Yeah.
But no death takes you to anywhere divine.
Well, anything? I'll say to Ervac with his sword.
Yeah, my sword is sticking into the fire.
You're going to stick your sword into the fire, and again, what is it? It's a short sword.
Yeah.
By the time your hand is getting close enough to do that, it's really fucking hot, against your hand. Bear in mind that you're holding.
Okay, fire's hot.
Yeah.
Can I fire an arrow through the fire?
Yeah, sure. You can give that a shot. Yeah, absolutely.
Agility, yes. Presence.
Either one. Give it a presence test. It should be for that. Yeah. Right.
+2, 19.
Cool. So you clear the space. Again, talk me through your aim. Are you aiming at the base of the fire or to go straight through it?
Just to land on the other side, preferably. So I'm trying to see whether the arrow disappears, catches fire, or, if any change.
It's bare stone wall on the other side.
Yep.
So that's that. So yeah, anything going through would catch on that pretty easily. You were able to clear the space so people get out of your way because they know what you're like. Draw the arrow, you knock the arrow, you pick a course that would clear the arrow right the way through. And then would somebody like to position themselves in a way that they'd like to be able to they'd be able to see? Yeah. So the arrow goes in at this side and does not come out the other side.
All right, then. In we go, then.
That's hard.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Gav, the lads have cleared the room and made sure there's nothing in there. The only other thing they haven't mentioned is there is a discarded black and silver cloak between this kind of stone altar that had the pearls on it and the very hot burning fire. The hot burning fire, they can't see what it's burning. It doesn't appear to have any wood or coals in it.
The pearls were left on this side of the
Yeah, I've
Pearls
got
were
'em.
left on the altar here. Sam has picked them up. They stopped glowing as he picked them up.
Right, well, the way I see it is... Rack, you love fire. Go on then.
All right. I'm going to take off my fur armor and my
Yep.
clothes, leave them in a pile in the corner,
Yep.
and totally strip down naked except for
Okay.
my hammer and shield, or
Okay.
axe and shield. I have to find my character sheet again. And jump through.
Okay.
Because obviously fire burns fur.
You're going to kind of take a running jump?
Yeah. But I'm kind of preparing myself to land in hell.
Okay. Give me an agility check.
+1.
He makes it. Please don't describe the other side. Leave it in complete and utter. We don't know.
Roll a 1. I do have 1 omen left.
Yeah.
Do we get omens every session or every scene?
Yeah, after you sleep, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use my last omen on that.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. No, I'm just doing it.
No, I wouldn't use it yet because you don't know what's going to be
Yeah,
fucking
exactly,
in
exactly.
there.
Yeah. So I'm just going to fall into the fire.
You run up from between the stone pews. You leap over the altar to clear through the fire. As you leap, your toe catches on the carved stone,
Mein Gott in Himmel.
You're fucking
and you come
idiot.
down. You graze your shin horrendously on the stone there, rolling a 1, and you come down your knee first, and then the rest of you hitting the stone, just squeezing into the gap between the stone altar and the fire. Your hair is on the edge of the fire, and if I recall, your hair was matted and infested and tangled.
I'm gonna catch up any fucking minute.
Not infested anymore.
Yeah, you've got less of it. I'll give you a moment to put that out if you want, Gav. Otherwise, you're going to take a whole bunch of damage that's not just to your morale.
Well, if I'm still in a fire, putting it out is less concerning than remaining in the fire.
Sure, yeah.
Did I fall in the fire or did I fall outside of the fire?
Your head is on the edge of the fire, and so
Okay.
you've seen things burning like just at the side of it. The cloak that
In-
was left there was singed.
In that case, I will put out the fire.
on you.
Yes.
Yeah, you're able to curl up and move away from it and kind of pad it out, and you have an awful lot less hair now than you had seconds before.
I had a water skin in my gear as well, so that's probably
Yeah.
dumped somewhere.
Yeah.
Alex, you always like to play with fire, now you're nearly firing yourself.
At least I didn't fall asleep in my soup.
No, you nearly burnt your balls off.
Your shin is really heavily grazed, Gav, but I'm not going to make you take any damage there. It's not anything really
Is
severe.
he sat on the floor holding his knee going like sucking air through the you know what you do when you stub your toe?
Wearing all his favourite swear words, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to stand up with whatever
Dignity
manliness and dignity I have left.
Yeah.
And jump into the fire again.
From this side of the altar, yeah, and you can kind of stride through, and the rest of you here in this chamber,
Dreams.
see Vrak step into the flame, and you smell one more whiff and see one more wisp of burnt hair, and Vrak steps in and is gone from the room. Does not come out the other side.
This does not bode well.
Wow.
This
This is where I revealed that when I said it was just consuming stuff instantly, that's...
Yeah, he's just dead.
Yeah.
TPK incoming, because we all got to go in now.
Everyone's going to walk into the fire, and that makes my job as GM really easy.
Yeah, good campaign, guys. See you later. Right, well, I'm going to put my hand out as if to say, grab on, let's go in.
Who is next?
I will simply pick up my dog and walk into the fire.
Okay, the
Fully
dog
clothed.
struggles.
It would,
Pit,
yeah.
what
Yeah,
what are you going to try and do to keep hold of your dog, Gex? Because he
Uh,
doesn't want to go into the
stick
fire.
his finger up his ass.
just hold him
Fucking throw
by,
him.
just hold him by the scruff of the neck off the ground.
Give me a strength test to try and hold on to him properly.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like a 7, 9, 10.
Tell you what,
10.
that would be
A 10.
pretty accurate in real life because the
Yeah.
fucker would struggle like fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. He's scratching up your legs. He's kicking. He's trying to bite you. Everything like that. It's going to take
Okay.
you a moment. You're not going to be able to walk straight in there.
Okay. You know what? I'll put him down. I'll say, go back outside the cave, boy. I'll let him go.
He fucking legs it
Yeah,
instantly.
And I will stroll into the fire solo.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. And so Scroat legs it. Urvarg steps into the fire, and for Rolf, for Felborn is gone.
I'm gone.
Bastards, they're
Gone.
taking the fucking gems. These pearls.
Sam, you've got the pearls, haven't you? Yeah, absolutely.
Sam's
Yeah.
got some and Gav's got some. And
Gav has
no,
like
I left 17 pearls lying on the side of in my pile of clothes at the side of the cave.
Maybe I leave.
Well, they're now still there.
Motherfuckers. I come. So I'll take the risk and walk in.
Are you grabbing his clothes?
Yes, I'm gonna bring his fucking gear, stinky bastard.
Ray Lolita's died.
Yep.
yeah,
What?
Ray
Ray
Liotta.
Liotta, yeah,
Ray Liotta?
Yep.
Yeah. this afternoon.
In the Dominican Republic.
Oh boy.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, no one grabbed those pearls unless Vic did.
Yeah,
you
I
grabbed
grabbed
gear.
his gear.
So.
And if we got to fight something, I'd rather
Yeah.
be the smelly fire lover be armed.
Yeah,
than
I'd rather just he not be naked than when we
Yeah.
fight. Well, yeah.
I don't want to be looking at the fucking crusty clinkers hanging off his ass crack.
Hey man, I recall having a bath a lot fucking sooner than you did.
Before we continue on the first side of the fire, I'm just going to go downstairs and turn my laptop on.
Go for it.
And change that. So I'll be about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I'm enjoying like the bantery bits as well. I'm proper getting into playing characters now. So
Good.
Alright, I'm trying to find like a fucking enemy list on this Wrath and Glory as well.
Can't remember. Gav, you know your way around that rulebook pretty well for Wrath and Glory.
Yeah, I've linked. I linked Vic the folder full of Wrath and Glory documents, but yeah, he's looking for enemy shit, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just like, cause I've got a basic idea of a fucking like a one-shot story, and that it's just trying to. I want to find the enemies so I can put the right sort of enemies for the right area.
There's not a huge amount of enemies developed for the game. It kind
they're
of
not.
encourages you. Well, they don't have a beastery or like a monster manual. So you're going to have to use whatever's in the back of some of the books. But they do have a couple of templates there you can dick with.
So I'm just looking
so you can get like generic guardsmen and just change a few numbers to make them stronger or
that
whatever.
could work. So I'll not hide what the fucking idea is. It's going to be Tyranids. So I was looking for Gene Stealer Cotist, maybe.
I think there might be some already developed.
Exactly.
There's one book that has been released that I didn't since we played, so I don't have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can help you look at some other point. I'm sure we'll be able to get some.
It's like Cotis, and then
Cultists are only mutated mutated
Yeah,
humans, so you can just start with a basic grunt.
And then it would be like maybe throw in a Gene Stealer to see
What's up, guys?
to gauge the difficulty of like a Gene Stealer, because obviously I wouldn't have a clue to see how hard it was for whatever the party would be to fight something like that. And obviously,
yeah, but that's okay.
and because I've never DM'd or anything before, it'd be like one of those things where I just want to judge what I would need. Because then I would have like multiple enemies lined up for like the main boss fight.
Yeah.
But there'd be a choice inside to see how difficult the fights are, and then I would put what I would feel is an adequate boss. Hopefully. And not something that would fucking mutilate everyone.
Yeah.
So, put it against Cotis, and then you end up having to fight a fucking Lictor.
Hello.
Or something.
Or that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah. But it would be maybe like if you beat down a Gene Stealer easy as fuck, then I'd probably try a Patriarch, which would definitely be a lot harder. And if you completely butcher the Patriarch, then it would definitely be like, a Zoanthrope or a fucking Lictor, or maybe even a couple of Lictors, some twisted shit.
There we are.
We are here.
Felbon, you're also stepping through the fire?
Yes, I am going to pick Gav's stinky shit up and bring it with me.
Okay.
I'm burning!
It's and stepping through the flame, and all of you will have felt this, but I will describe it mostly for Felbon. It is very, very hot for a second. For less than a second, for a moment, for that passage through the curtain of heat, it is incredibly hot, and you believe to yourself, well, this is madness. The madness has taken me. I am stepping into the fire willfully, and your foot comes down into what you think must be the inferno. It will be the death of you. You are sure of it. You have investigated this. This is an all-consuming fire, and it meets solid ground, and it meets solid rock. And you step forward, and your eyes clear, and you come back out into the same room, into the same carved and beaten and rocked cave, with the carved stone altar plate, sans pearls, sans discarded cloak, but with the same stone pews facing towards it. And you all step through onto, that's a dead person here. You all step through out and into the world.
Echoing around the chamber is me crying like, "We will be reborn in fire!" And just kind of having my shield and hammer raised up and shaking them at the universe.
Yeah.
Fucking arsonist.
And I'm gonna start moving out of the room.
Yeah, sure.
Just
Yeah.
like
Oi,
fucking
naked boy, I
hulking
have
menace.
your fucking clothes here.
Shut up, you degenerate!
I
And
do
I'm gonna
not
start-
want to see your fucking starfish.
You're currently looking at it.
I threw my rat at the fire. If not, I'd have him nibble your balls.
And yeah, Gav, you are able to turn the corner, and the light of the flame is only reaching about as far as you can see here. And so past there, things open up, but it gets very dark after that point. You can see the walls kind of beetling around from you. But you're going to need some kind of light source going forward here.
Right, so we've come out basically in exactly the same thing, is that right?
Yes,
Sorry, I was a
we
bit lost
are
there.
in alternate dimension.
Give
It
me a presence
same
test if you'd like,
place.
Sam, if you're willing to.
I am terrible at these. So.
Yeah. You all can make this test, but I'll Sam asked.
14.
14. Yeah, from what you can tell, the rocks appear identical. The way that the rock is hewn, and you remember me saying it felt like a naturally occurring cave, and that the stone that was placed in here, although it was, this one, the table in the center was obviously carved. It might as well have been. It may have been very old and naturally occurring.
Is
Um,
the cloak on the floor still?
the cloak is not on the floor still.
Huh.
Interesting.
Do we see the arrow I fired through?
Yeah, what happened to the half body?
I'm probably stood on half of it.
The arrow you will find over by where Ervarg is standing now.
This is strange. It is like mirror. I fired arrow into fire and it ended up near the door.
Parts of the half body you don't find, but there is, you don't find.
Is there blood trail?
Some light. Stop fucking lollygagging. Or whatever this world's equivalent is of
I
lollygagging.
believe I still have my lantern with me. If it's gone out, I'll relight it.
Pretty easy to relight. You can relight your lantern, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll hold it high in the doorway.
Yeah. And so
march.
what? Yeah.
I'll move in.
Move up
So
there if that's okay.
yeah,
I'll
where
move up
the
alongside Gav.
where the chamber before, basically, as far as this last part of cave had felt quite, as I say, quite artificial. It had been lined with flagstones or stone walls. There were pillars in there that were supporting a ceiling, everything like that. You come into, again, what feels like it could well be naturally occurring cave. It is much wilder feeling. There are, misshapes in the rocks. There are dark spots that continue to catch bits, but
Show yourselves. Gonna listen out for anything that's around.
And I will move up some more to here.
you don't hear anything.
You hear Rob chewing tobacco really loudly in your ear.
Yeah.
Get in line with Uvarg. Get an extended line formation. Sorry, I moved someone else. We stand shoulder to shoulder and meet the enemy.
Move forward, yeah?
Absolutely.
You're better standing shoulder than behind him, I tell you that.
Some people like that.
You would not like to see it.
Just keep moving until there's reaction. If not, we'll,
Yep.
How the light source that we have, does it illuminate the whole room? If so, we'll go straight towards one of these outlets.
So you can see what's in there. These little bits at the side here are kind of half height. You'd have to crawl to get into them. This is a slope that goes upwards. It's fairly slick. You could climb it, or at least try to climb it, but it isn't the stairs that you came down.
What a day, pointing over towards the half-height things. Have a look. And I'll kind of move to here, eyeballing the slope that's kind of here. And then I'll kind of protect the guys if they're going to investigate those half-height tunnels.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, they are tunnels that you could stoop and step into if you wanted to. The air in them smells fairly clear. This kind of sloped area, it's quite steep. It looks as though water has been running down it, although you know what I mean when you get rock underground that looks slick from water running on it, but it's not actually wet.
Mhm.
You've been in situations like that, so it would be fairly difficult to climb.
Which way? I say, looking towards Urvag.
Like the. Is this? He says this is a steep slope.
This is a steep slope. So that's the same spot as the steps that you came down.
To,
Or you've got two tunnels that are both quite narrow and tall enough that you'd have to stoop to get into them. So your back would be brushing against the ceiling as you.
I say we check out this small tunnel, and I dress to the left.
Okay.
Can I see any tracks or anybody's movement other than our own footprints?
Give me a presence check.
Not enough.
No, you can't see well enough. And actually, if Gex is taking the only light with him, the light in here is going to it's going to vanish pretty quickly as he's going to start to go.
Come with me, idiots.
Follow
Say-
Urvag.
Say please.
I don't know the meaning of that word.
Clearly.
I'd much rather get in ahead of Vic so I can bend over in the tunnel.
I will stick an arrow in your fucking ass.
Once again, I'm walking shield up with the lantern hanging over it.
His balls are purple. What is wrong with your balls?
That's fine. Gex, you're going to be able to see where you're stepping. No one else is going to be able to see where they're stepping because your shield is going to cast a lot of shadow behind it.
Fair.
Or, it's going to be just as dark behind it. No, I'm just telling you.
Just keep coming. Keep your hand on my back.
Okay.
Alright, there we go.
Gilborn, keep your hand on my ass.
Fucking keep my hand on your hair, you fucking stinky bastard.
His ass head?
No,
What
his matted
you're-
long locks. I'll fucking yank it as he walks.
What you are moving into, you're not sure if it is again, there isn't water running down it, but occasionally you step your boot into a fetid puddle with algae and slime in it. This is what you are moving along is probably, and you all have spent enough time with mining people, even if you aren't that, it is probably the sign of an underground watercourse at some point. It is slick and slippery and narrow and certainly not built, let alone for human movement. You're
Anybody
able to
in
get
there?
to- Your voice echoes upwards.
Ooh.
I will. When I say upwards, I mean out long and into the deep and the dark. Tell you what. No, let's rub that out a little bit. You're going to get about that far, and things are going to split. And when I say split, you can see wall here. This way to your left is steep and goes upwards, and there is a way this way that is less steep. In fact, it doesn't appear to go up. It kind of holds the way it's going.
What do you reckon?
At the bowels of hell, Urvag.
I like your
That's
style.
where we're destined.
We go. This says so goes down.
This one goes up. This one does not a change in incline.
We keep going.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
And the lamp will shine along that way.
Very well. Aha, the tunnels meet.
And you're able to conclude that. Yeah, you're concluding right there.
Cool. We keep going, I guess.
You are gaining ground a bit now. It is going upwards after this point. However, the air smells clean and cold ahead of you.
Maybe this leads to the outside of the mine in this world.
Maybe. Maybe we should just get up to this fucking tunnel and go up the big ramp if we're going up anyway.
Keep following Urvik.
Alright, we'll keep going this way.
It's getting steep enough now. It's going to be harder for you to make your way. I'll get you all single file rather than stacked, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Um,
Urvik, do you have a shield?
roll for you keeping up.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
He does have a shield, yeah.
Okay, and I will
That's
get.
confusing because I lost my shield in D&D on Tuesday.
Yeah. So it's gonna. I'm gonna make it a tiny bit easier for Gex because he's got his lamp up. But
Very well.
everybody's gonna have to make an agility check moving up through here. You can talk to me about what you're doing. So Gex, talk to me about how you are proceeding, please. It's getting steeper, so you're gonna have to make your way upwards. You've got your shield in one hand and your
Yeah.
lantern in the other. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll kind of dig my shield into the ground, pull myself up, put the lantern down, and when I've moved a step, pick the lantern back up, move it forward, and just sort of keep hand over handing, putting the lantern
So
down,
you're
keep moving.
you're using the shield as a kind of third point of contact with the ground.
Kind of like just sort of digging it in for a bit of leverage.
Okay, and you can see where you're going, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you a DC 12 for an agility check to climb this.
Very well. I get 4, 6, 5.
Okay. You get the feeling pretty quickly that putting the shield on and trying to put weight on it isn't going to get a lot of friction. And so you are taking a few steps, putting the lamp down, slipping backwards a little bit. The other three of you behind are able to see what's going on with this, so you're giving Ovag a little bit of room to move as it goes ahead with this. And he takes a few steps, plants his shield, puts his weight on it, it slips, and he slides back down the slope. The lantern is now further up the slope.
Right.
So you can still see where you're going to get to it, but you're going to have to actually climb a little bit to get the lantern. Otherwise, you're
Right.
going to.
Stand
Right.
aside, boys. I'm
Can
going
I use
to
my-
pull out a 30-foot of rope
Okay.
and have it in one hand, and I'm going to take a running jump up towards the lantern.
Yep.
And try and steady myself where the lantern is, and then continue climbing with the lantern in hand and the rope, leaving the rope trail out behind me.
Very
Just try
well.
and get
What
to
about,
Belaying.
what about using this as a hook? And I hold up my hand axe.
Could work.
What's it going to hook onto? Stone?
Whatever's up there, dumbass.
Look around, it's a cave, it's stone. There's
Fair
no
enough.
soft ground here.
Jump all you like.
That's right, Jed?
So you're going to hold on to the rope.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of like put it over my shoulder,
Okay,
and
sure.
then try and land near the lantern, and then start climbing with the
Okay.
lantern.
Yeah.
And then
So with the lantern in one hand, and you're gonna climb up the thing in the other way.
Yeah, and everything else is on my back. And if I make it to the top, let the rope down.
So again, you've talked about you'll have the lantern, so you'll be able to see where you're going. So I'll give you a DR 12.
I will.
For this.
If when he's going past me, I'll give him a helping hand as well.
You kind of boost him up a little bit.
Yeah, give him a boost. Hold up my shield so
Yeah.
he can step on
Yeah.
it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Good plange.
Okay, so I won't adjust the difficulty for that,
6.
but I'll stop you from slipping down a little bit. So you can basically stand on Ovag's shield, and you can reach up to the lantern, but you're not going to make any progress.
Okay, so we have a lantern.
You've retrieved the lantern at least.
Why are we trying to go up this tiny fucking hole when there was big slopey road bit in the other room?
This
In
looked
the
more
other-
interesting.
After
Yes,
you.
to get fucking stuck in a cave in and die slowly.
This looked more interesting. Why don't you go ahead,
Slowly.
Mr. Glass Cannon? Except
You
the
are the
cannon's
only
broken.
one. You are the only one with a fucking light.
Please, be my guest.
I mean, I have the light now.
Be his
Let's try-
guest.
Let's try the other way. Unless anyone else wants to try jumping.
Fuck this.
Is the cavern wide enough to brace my legs either side in the corners?
Yes. It's
Right.
also short enough that you could brace yourself against the ceilings.
Well, in that case, I don't see a problem here.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm gonna brace my legs either side and like I'll have my hand axe out. I'll sling my warhammer, and I'll use the hand axe if I need it, along with my shields to like bash into the corners on the ground up ahead of me, and like using pressure on my legs left and right,
Yep.
to kind of slowly shuffle up the wall.
Yeah.
Or
Are
up
you
the
taking the lantern with you?
If I get to the stage where I pass the lantern, no, because I'm using both my hands and I'm going to be front and center in the combat.
We can
Okay.
point the
I'll-
lantern that way.
I'll allow the
Yep.
lantern to like follow me.
Okay.
Do you want
The
an
lantern's at
agility
the
or
front of
strength or something?
I'll get you to make an agility check. If you're not taking the lantern, so you won't be able to see too well, but you are bracing
Six.
yourself. Okay, I was going to say I'd keep you at 12.
I'm gonna use an omen.
Okay.
Would it also be wise to tie the rope round him?
That's fine.
17.
We can chuck it up to him.
17's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
18.
You're
Yeah, but he ain't gonna fucking see it, is he?
Your agility check works really well. Your technique works well. You're able to get yourself wedged properly in the tunnel. And like it's not so steep that you're climbing vertically at any point, but you are, able to brace yourself and stop yourself from slipping downwards over and over again. You've seen people do this you've seen steeplejacks do this in narrow chimneys. You've seen you had someone in your youth who was working in the spire of a great cathedral and told you of a tale of wedging themselves in a chimney of the bishop's kind of quarters and climbing up to the spire of the great cathedral by wedging themselves into this chimney and shimmering spot by spot by spot. And this is a memory that had always stuck with you. It's something you'd practiced against trees or tall buildings, or just wedging yourself against the walls in a narrow woodshed. And now here on the rock, the memory comes back to you, and you're able to make your way up this narrow passage, bracing yourself against the walls, bracing your knees where you need it, bracing your axe to wedge it, or your shield in that way. And you're able to make your way up, and the air, the higher you get, feels colder and faster moving. And the rest of you see Vrock. Did you put your clothes back on, Gav?
No,
Or
no.
no? Okay,
No.
yeah. You see Vrock
So I've just
naked
left him in
from
that fucking
beneath,
room. No,
wedged and shimmying upwards, undoubtedly chafing against the rocks.
I left his clothes and took the
I'm
pearls.
freezing in the new air.
Yeah. Shriveling in the cold air and with the excitement of everything.
Is he out of the light?
And yeah, he starts to reach the edge of where the light can touch. Because he's made his
Can
way upwards.
I try to take the light and stick it on? Does it have like a lantern have like a little ring thing at the top so it to be held by? Yeah. So I could try to stick it over the end of my bow and hold it a little bit higher than our heads, maybe.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try
Happy
and
to-
throw the rope at Gav and say, "Catch this."
Gav, you going to try and catch it?
Sure. Why?
So
Because we're all terrible at agility rolls.
Well, just do what I did. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll try and catch the rope. Well, wait till I get to the top then.
What is this?
I'll
Presents.
I'll secure it.
Failed. We're having a day of fails. Comes
Oh,
back down.
you idiot. Just throw the rope at me. The whole thing, not just the tip of it. Just the tip. Yeah, if you can throw like the whole bundle of 30-foot of rope,
Yeah.
I
can keep rolling this until Jed tells me I lose the rope.
I'm happy for you to roll it again. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you've tried to flow the end of the rope, and
Same
that
again.
didn't work.
And
Could we
again.
not tie the rope to a dagger and throw dagger up? It add a bit of weight.
Right,
This time
I finally
works now.
did it.
Yeah.
On the third attempt.
My fourth roll.
So
Fourth, was it?
I grabbed the rope and put my arm through the the loop of it, if it's looped around itself.
Mhm.
So it's
The
kind
hank,
of
yeah.
over one arm, and I'm just going to keep
Yeah.
going.
It starts to even out on you pretty quickly, Gav, and you can hear the whisper of wind ahead of you. So the tunnel is getting pretty narrow at that point.
Any light?
There is a kind of glimmer against the rocks that, suggests there might be light ahead of you. But it's not. It doesn't have the quality of daylight, if that makes sense.
Yep. Okay. Well,
It doesn't have
as it
any kind
gets,
of warm quality. It might be
it
starlight or
levels out a
moonlight.
little bit before it gets thin.
Yes.
Okay, I'll move up to the thin section. I'll face backwards, throw my shield out on my back, and kind of brace my legs against either side of the wall and throw the rope down.
It's thin enough that if you went through it, you could use your hand axe as an anchor pretty well.
Oh, it's that thin.
You could put it crossways in it, and
Yeah, like the MP5 and Die Hard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got the
exactly.
Warhammer as well, which is probably longer. But yeah, okay, I'll do that.
If only he hadn't gone with the cheapo sling.
Can we climb up without spending ages rolling?
I will make it much easier for you to roll. I'll give you just climbing that, and you've seen what Gav did to kind of climb himself. You've got the rope, and presumably you're going to take the light with as you can see it. So I will give you difficulties of 8 for your agility checks to climb it, and I'll give you all one more roll.
Yes.
Thank you for the
12.
other row. So I break my teeth because I got a 1.
18.
And then a 17.
Right, cool. Yeah, so Felborn finds it pretty difficult. You find it pretty scary. You've just rolled a 1 on that, so again, you're going to slip and bang your knee pretty early on.
Lose 2 HP. No, sorry.
Yeah.
No, not again.
Yeah. Gav, the pain in your shins kind of rings out, and as you flush yourself with adrenaline and that, it you kind of push through it eventually, but it did make that touch more difficult. But
we
that's
get
fine.
to the top. I'm going to hand the lantern back to Urvak.
Finally.
There's a narrow squeeze of a section, and then past that, the rock of the tunnel is lit as though it might be in starlight. You can't see out yet.
Coil the rope back up and sling it away.
Yeah. And again, it broadens
Yeah, help
a
them
bit.
up when I can. Pull on the rope if anyone's in trouble.
No, we made it.
Nice.
Have you run out of room, Jed?
Yeah, but it's fine. That's
Apparently going this
enough for me.
way.
Just snake it. Come on the other side.
Yeah. I can't pick up the map and draw that way. No, it's fine. That's enough. Anyway.
And there's probably just going to be one big room here that we could have walked like 10 feet to go up.
We missed some epic loot.
What loot? There's someone's found something I didn't hear about.
That's what I mean. We missed some epic loot in that room.
Yeah, maybe back here, like.
I mean, there were large sections of the last dungeon you guys didn't explore as well, of the other side of the fire, but
Was there?
You're right.
Oh yeah, there was the fucking because it went up and down.
there was a wooden door in the room with the berserker in, and there were stairs up in that room.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, we fucking skipped
Whatever.
loads of
We
shit.
can't take it to the next world, and that's where we're going.
That's where you are.
Speak for
Right.
yourself.
forgot
I
about
could
the
have
stairs
went.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a piss real quick. Let's.
Same.
I don't remember the door.
I feel like I mentioned it. Maybe I didn't.
You probably did. I just terrible at remembering things.
Yeah, fire hybrid, that would do. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could have a good little gene stealer fucking thingy on the go here. Hmm. I'll have to watch some videos and stuff, I think.
Hello.
Right. Okay. So you are reaching. It's a level section. You've squeezed through the kind of narrow block part, all having climbed the ladder part of the tunnel, and ahead of you, the rock looks wet and to glisten or glimmer, perhaps as though lit with starlight. You haven't moved ahead that far just yet. Is everybody happy? Everybody comfortable?
I am comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So are you proceeding?
Well, I want to wait till everyone's stacked up, with me. Then, yeah.
Stack up.
Onwards.
Yeah,
And so, yeah,
I'll wait till the light is behind me, and then I'll push around the corner.
yeah. The lamplight is clear, and as you come up, what you think is starlight or possibly moonlight, it appears to be a bit of an understatement as it comes up. This is brighter than that. You'll recall the brightness of the full moon that was Manopgang in the mine in Grovedrift, but this is different than that because above you don't see a dark sky with a single point of light, but a bright grey, gleaming, monochrome sky. And beneath it, a landscape lit and bathed in shimmering silver. You'll all recall walking through forest to approach the cave entrance that led you down into this chamber, but what you see here rather is grassland, a grassed valley deep into mountains that probably, thinking back, will have borne the same shape as the valley that you came up. Thinking of the shape that the hills were, the shape that the mountains were, but there's no forest here. There are no farms down deep in the valley towards which was fuck was the town called? Doesn't matter. The town that you had been to
Grovedrift.
the night before. No, Grovedrift was the
Oh, the
mountain
little
town, and there
village.
was
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. Doesn't matter.
Had like a key.
I didn't write it down.
Yeah, it began with it ended in I. Doesn't matter. And none of that is there. You have long, waving, shimmering grass bathed in silver light from above.
Where are we?
What's
The
the sky
mirror
look
land.
like?
The sky is flat and monochrome and bright. It is something just below the brightest white that you can imagine.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell indeed.
Gone to
We're
India
not
now.
here to sightsee.
Why are we here?
Is this?
Kill a bunch of fucking evil cultists. And I
Absolutely.
push forward.
Maybe they're good.
Let's go. Are there any trees, Jed?
There are no trees.
Thank God. Am I in heaven?
Maybe.
What is going on here? This is very, very weird.
Looking around you into the hillside that you are emerging from, you can see a cluster of rocks around a deep dark crack into the rock. And again, it is deeply reminiscent of the cave entrance that you had entered on the other side of the fire. You're struck and you realize that the hole that you are climbing out of isn't too far from there. Again, there is a kind of cracked, craggy entrance here. And the hole that you're climbing out of may well have been visible from there. You hadn't looked for it, but it's more of a climb and would have been concealed, perhaps by foliage. It's hard to say.
Let's have a look around.
But looking here, the valley stretches down beneath you. The hills rise up above you. They are dressed in, as I say, long, waving, shimmering grass. The sort of thing that would be a delight to any cow, that would feed a horse, the kind of horse that you have abandoned on the other side of the fire for months.
Months.
And as you bring your, well, yeah, this the amount of grass that you can see, that it would be a delight to them. The fronds of it whip up against your hand. It is sharp and in a way that tickles. If you were to grab it, it might cut, but it might not.
I grab it. No, I don't.
You can if you want.
No, I don't want to. Fuck that. Are there any landmarks in the distance? Or around?
You can see the shape of the hills, and you can pick out kind of geological features within that, but you can't see any kind of structure or anything like that. Anything that appears to be man-made or shaped in that way.
Cool. So we wander.
Make me presence checks, I suppose.
Okay, I'm not counting that. I drop.
You can all make presence checks. If you're looking for things, you're looking around you.
16.
10.
13.
17 and 16 are both pretty good. You'll notice at the cave entrance that was the larger cave entrance, some of the grass is stepped on. It is bent. It is squashed in a way that is, probably quite recent.
Is that a trail?
It looks like it
way.
might be a trail you could follow, yeah.
Looks like someone is
We should follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a go.
Let's find out who is leading us on this fucking ghost chase.
Switch back to my
Follow.
Warhammer, just in case.
Got your
And
Warhammer.
my
You've got
axe.
So Gav now has to walk through long grass that'd be tickling his balls and asshole.
he does, yes.
Yeah, like that's the worst sensation ever.
It wouldn't be great if you had one of those like dart fucking ones get stuck in there.
Be right.
Yeah, and you were able to walk down on that. With the two of you, Vrak and Philborn, both of you are kind of attuned enough to hunting, to hiding, to escaping, to looking at the grass and knowing what it should be like, that you're able to pick out spots. If you miss a step, you can see the next step in and along that, and make your way down along the hill, along the valley. downwards towards where the homes had been
Hmm.
on your last visit here.
Devoid of houses now, yeah.
It is devoid of houses now.
Any
And a little-
discernible features?
Any man-made features?
Yes,
No,
that's
none.
the one.
Right, we're in a valley. I'm just gonna fucking bellow.
The sky is unchanging. There are no real clouds there or anything like that. The grass appears to be windswept, and you can feel wind against your skin and on your hair and things like that. So there is kind of movement of air, but the sky is it almost looks like, you get those overcast days where the sky is just blanketed in light, bright cloud. It's like that, but flatter still. It is as though somebody had taken molten silver and poured it across a blue sky. A clear winter's morning. You scream and holler and bellow, and the sound dissipates into the air, as it would, as you'd expect if you were to scream in a field, in any part of the world you've been to thus far. And it rings, and those of you around you hear it.
Wow.
You're able to follow along the trail for a little while, and I was going to say something else and I've forgotten it. Dang.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'll skip this part. It was just a little detail that I thought, oh, this would be a nice thing to tell you all, and then yeah, nothing. Yeah, Gav, if you're barefoot, ground feels like a kind of soft loam. The grass kind of tickles against your feet as you'd expect it to, but the ground isn't. It's not especially dry. It's actually, where you're in the ground, it is a kind of soft mud. And where you pick your feet up, it is dark the way you would expect mud to be. Not everything here is silver. But the grass and the sky are.
Okay.
That's what I was going to tell you. But you're following this trail of this person who has escaped and pushed on past you, and after a while you come to a spot where more footprints double back on each other, and it's a little bit harder to see what's going on until you see an area that has been actually flattened. And even Rolf, even Ovag, who weren't so attuned to these things to begin it, will see an area that somebody has lain curled up in, probably for some hours. Maybe they've slept there. You can all roll me presence checks one more time.
Very well. 3.
Nice. Helped me. 9.
21.
16.
21. 21, Rolf, you will remember this quite clearly. You are looking at where this person has slept, and then you can look and see where the rest of the grass has been bent and where someone has walked. They have walked in a square around where they have lain down, as though they are stepping out the dimensions and the walls of a house. And you look at the hills around you and you realize where you are in relation to them.
Which is
Well, you are stepping around exactly where one of the houses you had visited yesterday was.
oh, that's weird.
Shit, son.
Is it the one with the woman I scared?
It's not the one with the woman that you scared.
It's not
I don't remember if you actually
church.
visited this house. I don't think you
Okay.
actually visited this house. No, it was one of the ones that you rode past. Sorry. But you had paid attention to it because, I'm telling you that you did.
Yeah.
Rolf, you
I
will
remember
it.
paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you can realize this person has trodden out the dimensions of their house and lain down, possibly where their bed would have been, in the grass. Flattened
Far
out.
out theory here, boys.
What?
Maybe in this alternate weird place we are, we should be heading back to the cave where the murders happened in this place. Because this here, where I'm stood now, I am certain is the house we went past yesterday.
Hmm. Very well.
Yes. This place
The
is very
yeah.
strange.
The hill rises up above you. It's going to take you, as you would have thought, to travel that distance. It's going to take you a good day of walking. It took you about that long from where you are now to get up to Grovedrift. No, not
Yes.
quite. Yeah. If you're just walking, you haven't got the cart or anything like that. It might take you a full day of walking to get up there. It's steep. You don't have the benefit of a road now. But you can see well enough. You could probably ascertain where you were going to try to be.
Does that make sense, though, to everyone else?
It makes enough sense.
Well, none of
Where
this
are we
makes
going to
sense.
Grobdrift?
What else do we have?
Yeah, the equivalent of Grovedrift in this place.
You can look for
Yeah.
more footprints, or you can go down the valley, or you can go up the valley. Yeah, these are all
Well, I
things you
mean,
can
looking down the valley, we can't see any houses or signs
No.
of human habitation, so I'm
Yeah.
game
We
for
look-
the valley.
I suggest looking for more footprints, then maybe moving up valley if
Yeah.
we find nothing.
Can we all look for more footprints and see where they go? If there are any,
Yeah, give me presence tests again.
I suggest we all look. Because I'm terrible at presence
11.
tests. 10.
8.
20.
20 is great, yeah. And where the door of the house would be then from where this person has slept. They have strode out. And the first few steps out from where the door of the house should be are heavy. And there are moments where they've stood side by side with their feet side by side and swayed on their heels. You can tell this from looking, just from looking. And then they've made their way up and along to where the road should be from your memory, to make their way up the hill towards Grovedrift.
I think we know where we're going.
Okay.
God drift it is, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And you march onwards, and you're able to make your way to where you think the road should be, and you realise, looking along the line of the hill, that this is a sensible place to put it. This would have been forest when you were here last, but with the shape of the hill, this is going to be gentle. You're going to make a nice steady ascent without too steep, without it being too dangerous, without it being too prone to avalanche, which is the thing people have to consider in these areas, and gently make your way up to a pass in the hill, to a narrow spot that will divert you away from the chasm that you have crawled out of maybe an hour before. And you can see down to it now, and it feels impressive how well hidden. You're actually not that far from it. And you'd been completely unaware, the people of Grovedrift had been completely unaware. It could well have been the very families who lived here had been completely unaware, or that they had known about it for generations. And just no one was able to tell you. But you would never have known if you hadn't found certain things or been able to look for it. And here, beneath this flat silver sky, within the shimmering grass, it seems painfully obvious and hard to miss. What you do find, however, walking on for hours in this murky, mercurial light, is that the hunger that you would expect, the fatigue that you would expect, the ache in your knees and on the soles of your feet and on your lungs as you climb, does not find you. And you are able to climb and to march for hours for what does seem to be the passing of a day, perhaps, without needing to stop, except maybe to chat and to say where you're going or check your progress from where you started. It's harder to orient yourself, it's harder to keep track of your distance, but you know that you've been walking all this time. And the cleft in the hill that should turn, steps in the grass that Felborn is looking for, that the rest of you are occasionally spotting when they're pointed out to you. They come, they go, and you go on and you go on, and things get closer. And eventually you reach this cleaving point in the hill to turn around to what you will recall is a slightly flatter area that would have been home to the town of Grovedrift. And you turn the grass, as you have been in among it, continues and lays plain, but does not rise much further than this. This is the highest that it goes, and past that the mountain continues upwards, but it is bare. And as you had left the tree line around this point on the way up, the grass line does not go much further. It does, however, cover what you would have thought would have been the town of Grovedrift, had it been built there. And instead goes as far as the cliff face and no further. Against that wall of rock ahead of you, pacing backwards and forwards, head down, is a slim, naked woman.
Rude.
Her hair is cut so that it would cover her ears and her jaw, but not much longer. She is strong enough looking to have worked outdoors for her whole life, but not well fed enough to be, not heavy enough to have been well fed or successful. She is looking at the ground and pacing backwards and forwards, looking for something.
Would she be the one that escaped?
She certainly could be, from what you have seen and what you remember from nights before.
Stop right there, the criminal scum.
You're a little way that she's going to hear you at that voice. Are you hollering that or just saying it?
I'll give it some power, but I won't be shouting at the top of my voice, I think.
Yeah, she'll hear you, and she'll look up, and she'll hold your hand, and she'll hold her hand palm forth, and she's still looking down at the ground obsessively.
Huh.
But she is gesturing for you to stay back.
Okay. I'll stay back.
What are you waiting for?
What are you looking for?
He looks away from you and starts moving backwards.
Great.
And is stepping and moving and padding at the rock sometimes, and then
He's looking for a way into the mine. Is this roughly where the mine would be?
yeah, where she stood, it's ever so slightly above you still, with the shape of, you'll remember the hill, the town being built across a hill that led up to the cliff face where the mine entrance was.
Or I'll go over and help her.
You're going to go over and help her? Yeah, absolutely. She's kind of hisses at you a little bit as you come closer. She's, no,
Shut up,
you
woman.
can't have it.
Have what?
We should make her talk.
I'm just going to use my hammer on the rock to kind of sound out maybe hollow areas.
Yeah, you're moving along. You're knocking on it, and she moves away from you as you're doing that. Maybe there's areas that she hasn't checked yet, but she seems to be going away from you, doing that. Give me a presence test.
I usually fail these.
Yeah. Oh, that was very. I really thought it was going to be a 19. Yeah, and you're able to kind of knock on the rock, but it sounds as solid granite should. Yeah. For the rest of you, anybody else doing anything in the astral? I don't know. It's not really the astral plane, but in the grave that should be Gruvdrift, the plane,
Uh,
the shimmering, spot
be-
where it should be.
I'm gonna take one of those pearls out and like hold it up and ask her, "Is that what you're looking for, bitch?"
You're taking it out of your pocket.
Yeah, because I picked up the fucking clothes, so I took the pearls and left his fucking shitty underwear and stuff it back in the
Yeah.
cave. So you got to remember, Gav, you're completely naked as well. That girl's gonna be just like, what, you know. But then again, she's naked, so
Yep.
So
look,
who's the fool here?
it's fucking nudists together here, isn't it? Look. Is this what you are looking for, woman? Some more of these. You fucking talk.
She looks up at you, and the pearls, as you draw them out, they gleam. They gleam even brighter than they had under the moonlight. And from every angle, not just where the moonlight is striking them. And she looks at it, and there's definitely recognition in her eyes. Have you gotten quite close to her? You've gotten close enough where you could talk to her, or?
I've kept a good enough distance, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
within like range where she could hear my words if I was talking.
Yeah,
I'll be
sure.
hanging
Yeah.
with Felborn.
Yeah.
If she tries anything.
Yeah, again, the woman's kind of pacing about, and she's mostly looking kind of at the ground or at the rocks, and she looks back, and there's definitely a look of recognition in her eye, but she doesn't pay too much attention to it.
So I just put even though obviously it's looking a bit fucking strange, I'm just gonna put it back in the sack because strange occurrences at the minute seem to be the fucking norm.
Yeah.
I think we may need to make her talk.
Gex, you gonna do anything else?
No. No.
Nope.
We may need to knock her out and torture until she speaks.
Yeah, are you still knocking your hammer on the rock?
Well, like if I finish the surface, then I won't. But like if I haven't, yeah, I'll still be going over it.
You're going along this area and things like that, and there are kind of imperfections and spots that look like they might be cracks and things that begin to be openings, but you don't really know enough about.
Well, if it doesn't seem to me like there's a hollow here, then I'll leave it be. Yeah.
Right. It's gonna be danger time in a minute because Fairborn is feeling like casting a spell.
Oh boy. Zone of truth.
Will he kill himself again? Will he knock himself out? Or will he succeed for the second time ever? I could put her asleep, potentially. Which would mean she couldn't run away. We could tie her up and then forcibly ask some questions.
You could do that. Do you want to try it?
Seems to be pretty unresponsive to
Yeah.
conversation, at least.
What do you guys think? Should we try to Pry these answers from her, or should they try a subtler and more gentle approach?
She's doubling back on herself, so she's checking. So she's been checking down around her ankles in the grass and things like that. She's now checking ever so slightly above head height in the rock and things like that, kind of brushing things out the way or looking back across it all.
I'm going to cunt punt her with the end of my axe.
Okay, cool.
With the,
All
with the
right.
blunt end of it.
Make
You saved me from hurting myself.
a strength check.
You know, with the handle.
Yeah. You're going to go for her lower midriff.
Oh, 8.
An 8,
Wait,
yeah.
Sorry, that's a 9, so that's 11.
A 9. She sees you coming and she'll dodge.
I'm going to move around the opposite. Well, have we got a counter for us so we could like?
Yeah. So the woman is again kind of trying to hiss on you. No, you can't stop me. You can't have it. And she's running away from you now because you've tried to attack her. So she's gonna run along the rock side. I'm gonna roll a die. If it's odds, she will be running towards Gav. It's odds, so she's running towards you, Gav, but she's going to be a minute or so before you. So Sam's tried to hit her with the handle of his axe.
Yeah, well, I'll give her a little slap across the fucking upper half with my shield.
That's your aim? Yeah, absolutely fine. Give me, again, a strength test for that.
Oh,
We're having bad dice
A
tonight.
3, so she can get past you. She ducks
So
it nimbly. Again, you know that this person's fast.
I'm gonna grab my eyelids. What was it? What one is it? Fucking hell. Eyelids blind the mind, is it? Eyelids blind the mind. My unclean scrote.
Yeah.
And make an attempt to put the bitch asleep.
Roll me a presence test.
Standing by to catch Foulborn.
14.
You made it.
Ooh.
14. Okay, this time you read it, and the light of the silvery sky kind of catches the passage in a way that you've never seen before, and it somehow makes it easier to read. You're not really sure, and it's almost like there are extra markings that required this kind of note to read it before, but it comes out properly there, and it feels pretty. You're able to speak smoothly, and as you should do. So I'm just going to remind myself exactly what that spell does.
Three casts left.
Yeah. So, Violet blinds the mind. Roll me a d4, please, Vic.
And that's a d4 in it. There we go.
4.
Oh shit.
Okay, so everybody makes a test. Everybody apart from Vic makes a test.
Okay.
What test?
It's you don't add anything to it. It's just a test. It's ER 14.
No.
10.
I'm asleep.
Right? Yeah, 10.
What about
1.
the bitch?
She rolled a 19.
Fucking hell.
Oh. So it's just me and her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the rest of you, if the rest of you rolled under a 14.
Yep.
Yep.
All three of us.
Fine. Yeah. All three of you. You've never heard Feldborn speak this properly before, and you suddenly realise why he keeps passing out unconscious, because the dizziness comes for all of you, and there is a kind of
any
sense
of you
of
got omens, I would suggest maybe using one.
Nope.
Nope.
This is funny.
there is a weakness and a dizziness that comes over you all, and you all just tumble, and it's like your legs aren't there anymore, and that grass looks awfully soft, and you are down. Vic, you will also notice the woman drop to her knees.
Okay.
She's been running. She's run past Gav, so in the opposite direction to what she had before. Give me one more presence test. I'll make this one fairly easy, given what you've been looking at and looking for the past few hours with this. So roll me over a 10 with your presence, and you'll be fine.
6.
19.
A six for a presence test.
For a sleep go.
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
meant Vic. Sorry, yeah,
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I thought it was everyone.
yeah,
Cool.
no,
Just a 6.
just a 6. Okay, yeah. So you've seen her kind of drop to her knees, and she's down in the grass.
Okay, is she looking? Do I notice that she's looking for anything? Does it?
You can't see well enough from there.
Okay, so I am gonna attempt to be as stealthy as I can.
Yep.
I'm gonna unclasp my cloak
Yep.
and try to sneak up on her and throw the cloak over her.
Okay.
So like over her head and shit, so she can't really see what the fuck's going on, and then dive onto the bitch and
Give me
punch her
an
in the head
agility
until she's
check
knocked
to be
out.
stealthy.
17.
17. Okay, yeah, you're able to be pretty sneaky with this, and you get closer, and you get closer, and you are in the long grass. You've got your cloak bundled up in one hand, and it feels reminiscent of a gladiator holding a net that you heard about in a story at one point.
Leia.
Someone.
Sorry, my dog was chewing the fuck out of her tail. Then get off.
It's all right. Yeah, it's okay. And you come closer to this woman, and she is, as you said, scratching at the dirt. She's got something that she wants to dig up and dig out. And you realize as she comes up closer to it that this also has a very familiar kind of gleaming glow to it. You come closer. She's paying you absolutely no heed at this point because she's got what she's looking for. There is like a berry from a bush, a single glowing, gleaming pearl striking against it, jutting from the rock. And she's cleared the earth and the grass around it. It presents itself. If you want to try and throw your cloak,
Yep.
you can make me a presence test to make it as a melee attack, or you can try and get a bit closer again.
I want to throw the cloak over her, and then once the cloak is over her, I want to punch her in the head a couple of times. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, make me the presence test first.
literally going to try and
It's
knock
not
the
going to
bitch out.
it's a standard 12 difficulty.
4.
4. Okay,
Jesus.
you throw your cloak. It spreads, it billows, the wind catches it, and it blows back over your arm. You basically just unveiled a sail in the wind. Remember, it was windy there entirely. And you look down at this woman as the pearl comes clear, and she plucks it with her fingers. Like, as I've said, a berry from a bush. She plucks it and she gazes on it, this lustrous fruit of the earth. And with it, a streaming silvery train of something iridescent, magical, ethereal lifts from the rock and peels upwards like a thread from a tapestry that has been pulled a bit too long by a wayward child. And the rock below it crumbles, and the earth behind it, the cliff face, untangles and undoes. This was, you realize, the exact spot where the opening of the mine had been. You can recognize it down. You'd been to that just this morning, the day before, to see Stenbrot standing there to discuss the idea of credit for your job with him.
Money.
Yeah, this is exactly it. And you recognize a particular formation in the rock above your head, a particular shape. But you only see it for a second as this streaming string, this silvery thread that leads from the pearl, begins to zip, begins to swish back and forth across the rock ahead of you and across the ground beneath you. And below it and beyond it is not silvery ether or Elysian goodness, but dark and nothing. And the world is falling in on itself.
How close am I to any of the lads?
It's going to take you a moment of running to get to them. You'll be more
Okay.
concerned about falling into the void here.
Okay, I want to move towards the rest of the guys and try and wake their fucking asses, I guess.
Who are you going to go for first?
Who would be closest?
I'm going to say Gav is closest to where you are now. Gav is
Okay,
very close to the cliff face.
I'm gonna move over to Naked Boy.
To Gav, yeah, what are you
Yeah.
going to do to try and wake him up?
Kick him in the balls.
Okay, Gav, I'm going to get a toughness check from you.
Not like proper hard, but
Yeah.
hard
Kicking
enough
him in the
that
balls, man.
23.
20,
standing on
23.
him.
You hurt your foot.
You awaken and are in fight mode instantly, Gav. This appears to be, of the Fs you could have chosen, you very quickly realized that maybe you should be in flight mode. The world appears to be coming undone ahead of you. The woman, the naked woman whom you had pursued many times now, who you had attempted to tackle, stands for a moment clutching her prize, and then falls as the ground beneath her is simply not there. And she's gone, falling. You can't see where to.
She would have been better off of me finding her, catching her, not this happening.
The hole continues to widen. The hole in the world continues to widen.
And
It is,
next, obviously, I want to move to one of the other lads and wake their ass up.
let's say, Elvarg is, no, Sam is next closest. Rolf is next closest.
Yeah.
And again, is along the cliff face.
So I'll move in and try and wake Sam up by giving him a little toe punt to the ear, I guess. Nothing too hard. Just a little
Again,
kick.
yeah. Sam, give me a toughness check there.
I'm just being a right prick and just like,
16.
16 again, you feel this knock against the head, and it's very annoying, and you're awake and you're cross.
There are trees.
It takes you a second. You're not quite up off the ground yet, but you can see a little bit of what's going on.
You might want to move before you fall down that fucking hole. That lady at the witch just she fell, and I don't think her end was very nice. And then obviously I want to move over to Ulvarg. I'm terrible with names.
Elvarg, yeah, sure, yeah.
Ulvarg.
Gav, are you going to move
Yeah.
away from that?
I'll
From the
just back away
widening
slowly,
hole
yeah,
in
with
the
the
world?
shield up.
Slowly with the shield up, yeah, absolutely.
I'm tenderly going to just slap Ulvarg across the face.
Gex, give me a toughness check.
Very tough. Now two.
Where are all these rows when we needed them?
I know, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Cut that
Yeah,
shit out.
and this is a tender awakening for you.
Good.
As tender as fucking Bellborn can be.
That's fine.
Yeah. But again, you stand in the grass. You're a little bit away from the cliff edge, from the cliff face, and you see in amongst the shimmering grass and the silver, painted granite rock from the light of the sky above you, a black void spreading. Not too slowly now.
We may wish to leave this place. I do not feel like this will end very good for us. Maybe I take my mushroom powder and enjoy the end of the world.
You have to think quickly. What would you all like to do?
Run.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. Run is the
Leave
right answer. Yeah,
the
sure,
hell.
absolutely. Your turn. You're going to go run back the way you came.
Yeah.
Yes,
Back
it's
to
the
the
only way
portal.
back to our world, so I'm thinking that's the right way.
Yeah. And you run, and as the tear in the fabric of this shimmering plain, of this silvery field, broadens, it quickens, the unraveling. It is not slow, it is just hungry. And what started as a simple thread becomes great rents and rips in the floor and what is above you, and things collapse. I'm going to get all of you to roll me a d20.
Okay.
Whoever rolls the lowest is going to get a really tough agility check.
4.
19.
8.
21, actually.
17.
I got 21 seconds
So
ago.
Gav, yeah, a really tough agility check. This is going to be a 16, let's say, for you. Oh, okay, well done, yeah.
16.
16.
Oh.
Yeah, the ground beneath you goes. It is gone. You were the closest to the void when everybody started running. And you feel it go and you feel it slip. And the very last bit of earth beneath you, you are able to launch off to gain a bit of ground. And you gain a few foot on the void. And you run on ahead. You are all descending and making your way down the hill now quickly.
Yes,
He's
keep
a-
running.
And you're going down and you're going down and you're going down. You're running, and again, the fatigue that you should expect here, the burning in your lungs, it still doesn't find you. There's something about this place that could be very nice in that regard. You should be hungry, you should be exhausted. Instead, you have fear, which is driving you. Perhaps. Madness, perhaps.
Definitely.
I'm going to get
Madness.
one more set of 20s from everybody, a d20 from everybody there.
Very well.
And we'll have that same agility roll for whoever rolls the lowest.
11.
15.
20.
Vic, that agility roll then, I said a 16, I'm going to go with the same thing.
Goodbye.
Yeah, not very good.
Felborn, everyone, you all turn the corner on the hill. You are descending. I assume you're aiming for the crack in the earth through which you came out. People are quicker than you, Felborn. You've been used to this for a long time. They are more agile. They're perhaps stronger, and you've gotten away with this by being cunning, meaner, more ruthless, manipulative when you've needed to be. This undoing of the world doesn't care about that. It doesn't care about how shrewd you are. It doesn't care about what you've been able to make people do or what people will do for you. It just falls apart. And you are running, and you see ahead of you your travelling companions, Rolf and Ervarg and Vrak of the Burning North. And each slap of the grass, each whip of the fronds around your legs is quicker and quicker and quicker and not quite quick enough. As you slip on, you don't know what. Perhaps it was nothing. Nothing seems most accurate. And there is nothing beneath you. And your hands reach and you grab at grass and you catch yourself for half a second as the grass that you have grabbed itself falls away. There was no root beneath it, and you are down into this empty shell of the universe and into the black, and you are falling and turning and swinging and twisting and falling some more. And your friends perhaps continue to run, but you
Yes.
fell born of falling, and you will recall the hunger and the tiredness and the fatigue does not find you here. The rest of you, you are going to make a beeline. You're going to abandon what was in your memories the road.
Yeah. Okay.
And which entrance of the cave are you going to make for? Are you going to make for the tunnely bit that you came up, or for the wider
one.
entrance?
I think the wider entrance.
The wider
Yeah.
entrance.
Well, I will anyway.
Fastest route.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that's that's wider. It's got less aiming for everything like that. And so you make your way into what is clearly. I mean, it's just a cave. The rocks here are silvery, everything like that. But it's it's just a granite cave. So again, we'll draw it back on in here. And so this opens up in here now. At the light of the kind of silvery sky comes in this kind of far, and then it is dark again. You will recall.
Yes.
It's just dark because there's no light getting in there. If that's what I mean. So it could be, there's shadow, but there's not the kind of really heavy darkness.
Yeah.
That you've been seeing in the void here.
I'll wait for Irvag to go in first in that case.
Fine. I'll go first.
You're lighting your lantern?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. There's and the light from the lantern has the kind of golden flickering quality of proper flame. And you feel instantly as though you'd almost forgotten color. You'd forgotten what it was to see in something other than silver. But you have it now. You have this here. And you have the shimmering crystalline quartz of the rock. And again, a kind of memory of the shape of the chamber that you descended into. It's not stairs, but you can make your way down the cave mouth without too much difficulty. You can all see enough to do that. At the back of it is a waterfall congealing into a pool here. And a water channel which runs up the back of the wall there. And the way down was there that was steep. There's more rock here. Let's... Oh shit. Yeah, it's fine. Like that. You're going to make your way down into the section here. Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah. So again, the back section there, it's quite steep and it's quite slick. Again, you've got the lantern here now, and you can kind of group together well enough. Again, I will get agility checks from you all one more time, but it's just going to be a 12 to descend that safely. If you roll less than 12, you're going to make a bit of damage, but you will make it down.
1.
Well,
3.
Yeah, cool. It's a 1. It's a yeah.
Just a
Give
1.
me some damage. 9.
9. Okay, cool. And Gav, what did you roll there?
6.
6, right. Okay. So you're all going to take a little bit of damage. Gex, I'm going to give you the choice between taking a whole bunch of damage or breaking the lantern.
Fuck the lantern.
Okay, cool. So, Sam, you take a point of damage. Gav, you take a point of damage. Gex, you take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Which is more than the others, but it's because you've landed on the lantern, and the lantern smashes.
Yeah, that's fair.
You'd have taken even more if you'd tried to save it.
Can somebody change my HP for me? I actually can't read it.
I actually don't remember what mine's supposed
It's
to
on
be.
that card. Mine's meant to be 9, so it's meant to be 8 now.
Yeah,
Thank
fine.
I
Yeah,
don't. I
you
think
can do that.
I took a bunch last time, so I think I'm on one.
Thank you. I can read the card, I just can't read where the cursor is to type on my TV.
Yeah, okay. So if you
Yeah.
right-click it, you'll get it in the description.
Yeah, it's
And
too
that's where I
small.
ended up clicking. Oh, really? Wild.
Yeah, it's because I'm sat in the living room,
Oh,
miles
okay,
away
yeah.
from the TV.
Yeah,
I can't read it. My eyes aren't good enough.
fine. Yeah, no problem.
It's too small.
So you are in what you will recall is a very dark chamber with tunnely bits on the side here.
I pull out my torch, light it.
Yeah,
over.
fine. Yeah, and yeah, you can see the shape of this well enough to make it through.
Follow him up then.
Yeah, follow him.
And you'll make your way back through to the fire chamber. The fire has gone out. There is still the benches, the stone altar with the carvings on it, and 2 round stones that are kind of jutted off into a V shape.
Shit. We'll probably need to light these again. Jump through the area before it's lit. See if it takes me back.
It does not.
Look. Start gathering up anything that's flammable and throwing it in there.
So you've got wooden tools and things like that with you. You've got your axe.
Throw the axe in, throw my sack in, taking the
Your clothes and things like that have been gathered with you. Yeah.
blanket. I
Yeah.
have a tub of lard, always
Yep.
handy. The cultist's cloak, that's
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah.
I'll keep my crucifix. I'll keep my water skin. I'll keep my dagger, and I'll make sure the 17 pearls are. I don't know. I think Vic took that sack that they were in already anyway. So
Vic had
I
those. Yeah.
did.
So they
So they
have,
fell down the fucking hole with me.
Those pearls are gone.
oh yeah. Okay, well, light them up. Light them up.
You're gonna light those things, and they catch fire. But they catch. They light in this spot. The ground is dry enough. They crackle. They spark. They kick out a lot of smoke, and they burn gently. But they don't begin to fill the space in the V between the 2 stones in the way that you'd expect. Thermal Kex, would you like to try anything?
I guess this is it.
Yeah.
I exclaim.
We've got to get back, maybe. What else have I got?
How?
I believe, Sam, you kept the pearls from the table on the other side?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, is that a reminder? I'll put them on the altar.
You'll put them on the altar. Brilliant. Okie dokie. Are you going to put them down in any particular way?
Same way that they were taken out in, if
Same
I
way
can remember that.
Same pattern.
So you'll recall me saying at the time that you couldn't discern as to whether they were just scattered or placed in a meaningful pattern.
Huh.
So you'll kind of scatter them across the thing.
Mhm.
But that's enough. The fire lights.
Okay. I'm off.
Jump.
Chamber fire, and it bursts up into flame more or less instantaneously.
Cool.
Gav, I'm going to give you another D4 of damage, I'm afraid, because you were stood in the fireplace. So you'll take 4 points of damage as the hot flame bursts up, next to you. You're not wearing anything, and you weren't expecting this.
No, I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's fine. Used to getting burned. How many hit points are you on now, Gav? Sorry.
4.
4 hit
I'm
points.
still
Yeah,
good. Yeah, I
that's
had
fine. Yeah,
loads.
you're
I
good.
have toughness +3.
That's fine. That's good. Yeah. Okay. But all three of you now are in the chamber. The fire is roaring the way that you expected it to. The pearls have got their glow on while they're there on the altar.
Glow up. Okay. Do we jump in?
I mean, yes, I'm gone.
All right.
Fuck the pearls.
Yeah, Sam, you're through and you're in. Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck it. Yeah, going in.
Gix, you're through, and you come back through to, as you remember before, what could be the exact same cave, the exact same room, except that there are no pearls there on the table,
Oh,
and no, smouldering detritus.
bastards. Oh well.
Gav, are you going through as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
standing in it, so I. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll step through very quickly. Yeah, this is it. You've burned, and then so you're there, you're in, and you're through, and you are in the chamber of the first place. So, Grant, what would you like to do next?
Look for a new line of business.
Yeah.
Right.
Put the fire out.
What are you going to do to try and put this fire out?
I don't know if a water skin's going to cut it.
There's no pearls on this side anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a water skin. I could pour water skin on it, but
Fucking get the warhammer out and smash up the altar.
ooh,
You can make me a strength check on that, Gav.
Well, I mean, it's done over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, is a solid 5.
Solid 5. You can bring the hammer up and get a pretty decent blow on it, like it feels like to you, but the hammer will bounce off. This is a heavy bit of stone. You are making an impact. You know, the stone is scratched. It's not kind of impervious, but it's going to take you a long time to bash this large, heavy stone to pieces with your
Can we
hammer.
tip it over, or is it made of the bedrock?
It's a really big stone. It would take a lot for 3 guys to do that without ropes or wedges and things like that. It's not to say that you couldn't, but as far as you can tell, like I say, it's a large stone. If you imagine a stone the size of a solid bathtub or something like that, I don't know if that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
The
Good as
size
you
of
said,
a
altar.
stone, the size of a fridge or something like that. Yeah, it's a single stone, that sort of size of a tall fridge.
hmm.
Any other ideas? Sam, do you have any ideas as to what you'd like to do here?
Mm-mm.
Be back in a sec.
Yep.
Well, I don't really know what we're trying to do. That other
Well-
world has collapsed.
Or it
I've
is
lost sight of
collapsing at
objective.
least, yeah. Yeah. So Gex and Gav were talking about trying to put the fire out.
Yeah, we're trying.
But
We're
why?
trying to close the portal to the other world so
Yeah,
it
that'd be
doesn't
good.
somehow destroy your own world.
I see.
But leaving the pearls plugged into the thingy on the opposite side means that the gateway will remain open unless you can do something about it.
Hmm.
Can I go back through the gateway?
Yeah, you can jump back through, yeah.
And then if you remove the pearls, the gateway will close. Catch 20
Quite-
motherfucking 2.
quite the conundrum.
You'll remember you when you picked up the pearls, the fire didn't go out on either side very like instantly. It was only you'd been gone for a little while before the fire went out.
Because he picked up the pearls before we jumped through anyway. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. So you're able to
Nice.
jump back through into Shadow World.
Mm-hmm.
This part of the mountain hasn't dissolved away just yet. Pick up the pearls, scoop them into your hand, jump back through the flame. You're back through the flame in the colourful world doesn't disappear, at least right away. It's still there, it's still roaring.
Then get away from it.
Yeah, you're gonna move away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Just start to make your way out.
Oops.
Gav's away for a second. Gex.
Back now. Sorry.
Okay.
Sam
so-
back through.
Sam's back
Yeah.
through. Sam's got the pearls. The fire hasn't gone out, at least not right away.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'll give it a helping hand. Just pour more water skin on it.
It steams, it burbles, it doesn't achieve much.
Buggeration. We leave.
You could absolutely leave.
We've got the pills, right?
Yeah.
Let's get the
I
fuck
have the
out of here.
pills.
You've got
Nice
5 of
pills.
them. You've got the 5 that were from the necklace.
Okay.
What about the other 17?
They
They went
are
down
in
with
the
Vic.
void.
Oh,
They are fallen into the floor.
beach. Okay. Well, I don't know.
Then yeah, we leave, and I don't know what next. This is a conundrum of the end of the world. There is no. What's the
Possibly.
point?
Well,
Is the thought on Ralph's mind?
yeah. But you make your way out of this chamber. The next chamber in is, as you recall, squared and has pillars.
The body store.
The bodies are still there that you left. We can put the counters back if you want or not.
No.
No, let's not bother to do that. Yeah. With deep dark shadows that your torches do not penetrate on either side outside the pillars.
Excellent.
And there are steps here at the end of it. And you come back up into the room that had the other set of steps going up here. As around here, this is where the feasting tables were. There's the dead berserker over here. And there are steps up there. There's also a wooden door here. You've all left the fire chamber?
Yeah,
Yeah, gonna be moving towards outside.
Yep. Just to daylight.
I think so.
Yeah. The day you come out into is... It could be the same day as the day you entered. It is, a sunny winter's day in the pine forest on the side of the mountain beneath Grovedrift. There are birds singing. A robin hops across the ground ahead of you, catches an insect, flies off. What you can see of the blue sky above you has a few clouds that race because the wind high must be strong. You stand on the edge of carved, laid steps. looking ahead of you into the forest, feeling the rustle of life around you. And you steal one last look back upon this chamber full of dead corpses. Dead corpses, just regular corpses.
Yeah, dead corpses.
Yeah,
Well,
of horrific fire and of mysterious ritual. And also turning rotting food, stale water, and shadow that, as you look, creeps closer. And you realize that it is not the shadow moving forward, but rather the ground at the floor of the cave falling away.
Don't have to tell me twice and start running.
You're going to run, you're going to book it.
Yep.
yeah.
Where? You can't outrun this
Yeah.
forever.
Are you going to run as well, Sam? You're going to run to keep up with your friends?
No, I'm going to fall on my knees.
You're going to fall on your knees? Rolf?
Yep.
Rolf is left without hope. And
My morale has gone.
the ground of the cave and the walls of the cave and the ceiling of the cave all fall away like smashed tiles or the last glassy ice of winter as spring comes and they disappear. And it is a simple blackness in the depths of the earth before it comes around you. And you feel that which is beneath your knees first go. And you tumble downwards. Gav, where are you going to try to run to?
Just fucking away, past the
Down the
fallen
valley?
ground. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gex, you're going to try to keep up?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have your horses at the forester's house, not too far away, past the pigs.
Yep.
You're going to try and get to those?
Yes. To the beasts.
Both of you roll me a d20.
All right.
Whoever rolls lowest is going to make that same agility check.
I ordered one.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
can't-
Yeah. Agility check from you, please, Gex.
It's my good stat. 6.
Hey, Daddy.
You slip like a bit of the grass, a classic bit of the grass just slipping on
Join
mud,
me.
familiar, just visceral, horrible mud. And your knee comes down and your foot, you push your weight into your foot to try and find purchase. And you look to where you should be kicking off of. And you wish you hadn't, because the forest behind you is gone. And your foot has nothing to kick off. But you put your weight on it nonetheless, unthinkingly. And you tumble down. And you fall into black as the world falls away around you.
Oof.
Gav, you run a little further. You're still
Yeah.
carrying on.
Yeah, at this point, I think I'm dropping my weapons and just fucking
Yeah.
cheesing it, like butt
Yeah.
naked up down the valley.
Naked through the forest, and the pine needles scratch and bite at your feet.
Won't be needing them for much longer.
Thorns, branches, they whip at you. You're going down the valley, down the valley, down the valley, downwards, not knowing where you're going, and there's a rock or a stream. And you're dexterous. You've had time doing this. You've done this before. You've escaped. You've done what you need to do to survive. You've broken away from it. But you knew the whole time that any attempt to escape, it wasn't real. It was a game that was being played with you. You were being chased this whole time. Every town you've been to, there's been a little scratch on the wall, there's been a little omen, there's been a glint in someone's eye that tells you they too think that they can be saved. And that was the whole thing. You knew it all along. You knew there was no salvation to be had. You knew there was no hope. You knew there was no good coming. And this comes into your head. This desperate paradox, this need to escape, and the utter knowing that you are doomed. And you leap for a moss-covered rock. You leap to clear it. You leap to grasp at a branch. And by the time your hand should reach it, it isn't there anymore. It's gone, it's tumbled, it's become dust or fallen tile. And you are falling down into not what is the earth, into not what is cold of night or snow or ice, but nothing still and nothing more. Those three of you who were lucky enough to pass back through the fire, hunger will find you soon. But not soon enough. Not very soon. Thirst comes in.
And I, as I'm falling, start chewing on my jar of honey. Just resign
Lick
myself
that honey.
to the last bit of enjoyment in my life.
Absolutely, yeah. You absolutely may. Just gobble honey as you fall through endless void.
Yep.
Gex, any last thoughts or requests as you tumble into black?
I wish I'd have brought my dog.
You haven't seen him in all this time. He wasn't there when you escaped the cave.
I assume he's going to heaven.
Also the black.
Fall, you hear woof woof.
Actually, no, he's a little bastard.
If any of you are going to hell, it's Scrope.
Oh yeah,
And me.
he's putting a higher body count than the rest of us.
Yeah. Yeah, and if there was any question, yes, all of you are going to hell. But Scrope definitely is as well.
Because he likes the sprouts.
Good, very good.
You are what you eat, right?
He'd be an asset.
What happened? All that's lucky is that Gav wasn't naked when that dog was around. He'd be short of 2 balls and a sausage.
Okay. Right. I am going to go and set fire to my Morkborg rulebook. That is the rules of the game. I've still got the PDF. It's fine, but apparently, yeah, once the world ends, you have to burn the book and buy
just
another copy.
Print it
It's a
out
hell of
and
a
then
business
burn it.
model.
Yeah. Especially if it takes you 3 or 4 games before you
I
figure
know
out.
Kindle and fucking burn that.
Yeah, it's pretty
right.
cheap.
Is there a way to prevent that, or is that like...
Yeah, kill the woman.
Stop the end of the world.
Yeah.
Not all roll like 5s on everything that mattered, and not have Vic cast a spell that takes the entire party out for his first
Yeah, that
successful.
probably successful spell.
His
Fucks us
first
all.
successful spell is put everyone to sleep apart from the woman you're trying to catch.
Yeah, not great.
Oh my god.
But at least
That's
he
amazing.
casted it good.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he actually got to cast a spell for once.
If there's one thing I've enjoyed
myself.
about this game, it's how you can have a party member that's complete negative.
It's just an utter detriment to everything we're trying to do. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Also,
good.
Vic's rolling in general was just 1s, 3s, you know.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Yeah, it's like he's rolling a fucking D10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well done, lads. Yeah. You've successfully failed to prevent the end of the world.
We won.
What was the crux of it? What did we miss? Because I honestly
Killing
didn't
her.
see it.
Stopping the woman.
I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, because she found something in the grass. There was a perception roll that Vic failed.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
think it
maybe.
was got to do with her, not
Whatever she
sorry,
did.
what she found, not her.
Yeah,
if
when
you know
she
what I mean.
plucked the
Yeah,
like jet, the
The
it
pearl.
was
Yeah.
another pearl. She plucked another pearl from the ground, identical to the ones that you all had found.
in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
So in terms of opportunities, if you'd stopped the pearls from getting away in the first place, that would have been that
Game over.
was an opportunity. It was possible. It would have been possible to catch them as they escaped. It would have been possible to track them into the night. Although I'm glad that you didn't, and I'm glad that you didn't by yourself, Gav. And when I played this same scenario that I had planned with another group, one character got all the pearls and went, "Oh, and I've got a horse now, so I'm just going to ride away." And so he got to the end of he caught the person that was making away with the pearls, killed them, got all 23 pearls, and just rode off into the night.
Nice win.
Yeah, and just won the game absolutely. I was like, right, fine, okay, I'm going to stop the adventure there. Then I didn't run anything else, not in a strop, just like that was all that was expected
That
of
was
it.
planned.
Yeah, it was fine, and we did something else. Yeah, if you had gone to the forester's house earlier on, you might have noticed it, and you might have caught her before she went through the fire.
Mm.
Yeah.
Forester's house.
Yeah, to check up the mountains.
We did go there, though, didn't we?
So you went
Yeah.
there
When you went to
eventually
the
after
valley.
you went into the valley or went to the church and spent a night in the inn first, while the ritual was going on. Whereas if you'd in the morning when you'd first started making your way down the valley, you went past the forester's house, ignored it, went, yeah, no, I'm going to go and check out the farms instead. What else? I don't know. Oh, the other cool thing that you could have done. So, the glass turning into quartz was a thing from Psalm number 2 in the Book of Psalms. Psalm number 1, the one that you rolled was, "And the depths of the underworld shall bring forth flying spectres and crawling beasts. In their passing the worm grows fat, the vulture weary." So if you had opened the mine the next day, that would have gone very badly for everyone because it was just full of monsters.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you didn't do that because things would have gone really differently then. And I may have just had, oh yeah, and you just remember this line from the Bible, and then you're just eaten by beasts. Because those
It's a
are just
good
random ones.
scenario, but I
Yeah.
think it's a bad game.
It's a rough game, and it's not like
It's
perfect
not
or
rough in
elegant
a good
any way.
way. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's not a system that is involving.
Sure.
It's just a system that's there to provide a method to roll some dice to determine yes or no.
Yeah.
Like
And I know you could sit and say, oh, well, that's just what an RPG is, but no, it isn't. There's nothing going on there. You've got 4 stats, and actually most of the time I was saying roll presence.
And it's like Torchbearer, which it kind of the game, the concept reminds me of is very heavily dependent on the system.
Yeah. Whereas
But the
this
system,
is
it's integral, while this isn't.
No, this
But
is
yet it has the
mechanically
same
like, and I
feeling.
could have run the same thing with any fantasy game system.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this, like I said, scenarios, no problems with that. But the mechanics, I just thought why are these even here? Why would you not just run this as a something adventure or whatever?
Yeah. We could have run it as Torchbearer or even as D&D or fucking RuneQuest or anything like that. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, good to be playing a game for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gex, have you thought more about DMing for your other group? You were
Not
going to
really.
ask some questions about that.
Not really. He came back.
What you should do, Gex,
I'll
is
do it at
like
some point.
pick an adventure. Like there's I can't remember what it's called, but it's the first part. I ran it for Crofty and his group. Who else? I don't know if any of you guys played it. It was like the first D&D game I ran before we started playing our game.
Mm.
And it's like a dungeon with a bunch of kobolds who'd captured a baby dragon. Anyway,
So
it's a very famous adventure, and it's been around since the 80s. And I've played it and I've ran it once, and it's very simple, and it also leads on to like, Act 2 and 3 of the same things that I haven't played.
I
And,
think D&D Beyond has made Lost Mines of Phandelver free.
Oh, they made Acquisitions Incorporated free last week.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, okay.
I didn't pick it up though because I was on my mobile when I got the message and it wasn't ours.
Well, no, like
So-
the notification that I've seen is every account gets Lost Mines of Phandelver, so it's just added to your account. Let me close it. We don't need to say
you're right.
We'll do we? So let me
Claim
just
your
close it.